You have made it to your bonus section. Aren't you just so excited? I certainly know I am. Today we're going to be talking about how to find room in your budget. More specifically, we're going to be talking about finding places to save money. This is lesson 9, and it's your second to last lesson in the course. I know it's so sad, but that's okay. This is actually exciting. You've learned so much, you've come so far, and you're going to go on to do great things, plan great trips, and really reach your travel goals. And I am so excited for you. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. You need to identify and analyze any frivolous spending habits. This isn't particularly fun, but if you're on a tight budget, it's important. You're taking this course because you finally want to prioritize travel, right? So your bank account should start to reflect that. This means that you will need to cut back or eliminate some expenses that are currently being prioritized over travel. This isn't easy, but it's completely necessary, and I promise that it will pay off in the end. So to get started, you'll need to take a look at your bank account and your credit cards. If you use cash, go through your receipts from the last 30 days. You'll want to make note of any expenses that aren't absolutely necessary. Please write down what they were, where they were, like where you made the purchase, and then how much you spent on them. For example, if I check my bank account, I might see that I've purchased 4 Frappuccinos from Starbucks this month. That's about $20 that I've spent on coffee. That's a pretty decent amount of money to be spending on coffee, right? So next, I'm going to need to determine if I can eliminate the expenses or at least cut back. So continuing with my example, I love Frappuccinos, so I don't think that I could completely cut them out. However, I'd be happy to cut back to only getting 1 or 2 a month, which would save me $10 to $15 per month. It's as simple as that. You don't have to completely eliminate it. If you know that you're going to get 2 a month, get 2 a month. If you know that you can't cut down to only getting 1, get 2. It's okay. Still, saving $10 a month is a really great place to start. And if you need to, you can always reevaluate later after you look through all of your frivolous spending habits and even some of your necessary spending habits, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. So make sure that you go through, you identify any frivolous spending habits, make notes about them, and then determine if you can eliminate or at least cut back on them. Next, you're going to need to identify and analyze your necessary expenses. If you're like most people in this world, and when I say most people, I mean like everybody, you will likely have some expenses that are completely necessary, such as food, rent, gas, or whatever else you can think of. While you can't eliminate these or cut back on the amount you purchase, unless you're buying way more than you need, you can still save some money if you implement some creative strategies. So let's go ahead and go over what you'll need to do. So first, you'll need to identify your most expensive necessities. If you're like a lot of people, your most expensive necessity is probably going to be your rent or your house payment. And if so, there's not really a whole lot you can do about that unless you plan on downsizing. Renting out extra space, you could do that too. But if you're not planning on doing any of that, you're going to have a really difficult time saving any money on that. So you can just put that to the side and go over the rest of your necessary expenses. Next, you'll want to brainstorm some creative ways to save money on your necessary expenses. For example, you'd be amazed at how many different tools there are for grocery shopping. Just something so simple as buying food. So you'll want to make sure that you use all of the tools that are available to you. So first, you could take advantage of some good sales. You might have to shop around at a few different stores if you have a few different grocery stores close to you. Every grocery store will probably have different sales going on, which will give you a great opportunity to stock up on everything you need while it's on sale. So sales that I really like to look for are buy one, get one offers. Those are the best, and I love them so much. So if you have a grocery store near you that does that, definitely take advantage of that. Also, you can use a credit card that gives you cash back at grocery stores. So for me, I have a credit card that gives me 3% cash back when I purchase groceries from a grocery store. Obviously, I use that versus using my debit card or cash because 3% cash back on everything that I buy is more than 0% cash back. So every little bit helps. You can also sign up for Ibotta, which actually has really great cashback offers for a lot of things that you probably already buy. You could also go through those pesky junk mail for coupons. Sorry, that sounded so weird. Let me just re-say that. You can also go through your junk mail for coupons. I know the junk mail is super annoying, but before you throw it away, take a gander and see if there are any good coupons. You might just find exactly what you need. Lastly, you could definitely look for coupons on Retail Me Not. Retail Me Not actually has a lot of great coupons. You may or may not see them for groceries so much, but there are definitely some for toiletries and such. So make sure you check on that. And there are plenty of other ways that you can save money on your groceries. You just have to maybe do a little bit of research and you'll find some really awesome ideas. Okay, so next, you're going to want to write down all of your great ideas and then make a list of what you need to do to start using them. For example, with the grocery store example, if you're going to start using Ibotta and Retail Me Not, you're probably going to need to sign up for them before you can even get started. So go ahead and add that to your list. Lastly, you need to keep track of how much you're saving when you use coupons and any other means, cash back, anything like that. You need to keep track of it so that you can put that money towards your trip each month. This is the important part. It's all good and great to save money, but unless you're putting it away for your trip, you're gonna spend it in other places, or you're just gonna end up with a bunch of money at the end of the month. You're like, oh wow, where'd this come from? And that's not what you want. You want that going in your travel fund where you can find it when you're ready to book your trip. All right, you have made it to the action items. I know that this video has been packed full of information, even though it's only had a few slides. So let's just go ahead and go over what you're going to need to do before moving on to the last lesson. Okay, so action item number 1, look at your spending habits. Step number 2, determine what expenses you can eliminate or reduce. Step number 3, figure out how to save money on essential expenses. Then step number 4, track your total savings each month and put the money towards your trip. I find it easiest when I have a completely separate account that I can put my savings into so that I can just transfer it over and then it just sits there and I can watch it grow and see exactly how much money I have. So I hope that that was super helpful for you guys. In the next lesson, I'm going to tell you how you can actually put even more money towards your vacation without looking at your budget again. Intrigued? I would be. So go ahead and get this homework done and then move on to the next lesson.